On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out.
Who is the man in this one?
And the laughter.
Hii wigi umevatishwa.
Sisi wakati tulikuwa tunapishwa tukapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow. Yeah!
We are the full package.
Oh yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us. We just want to look through this matter identity because the most affected are the young people.
People can tell you things. Maybe they wake up every morning and they tell you, you're beautiful. But if you don't believe it, it will still affect you negatively. So that was me. I struggled with that.
Najua tu kuna mtu mahali hata huwa understand ni nini exactly anataka kukua. That was me. The entire high school hata sijui, like,
I know konje, this is what they see, this is what whatever happens, but this is me being vulnerable to you. Now help me walk out of it.
Wow.
every day nikiamka nikifika kwa hiyo kio nasema I am God's masterpiece.
Wow.
Najiangalia nasema I am a child of God.
This week on What's in Your Kitchen, Chef Kennedy.
Yes.
This food is so good.
My pleasure.
How would you describe your menu today?
Okay, basically, Nelly, this is what my menu encompasses: chicken, bouillon, the free-range kienyeji chicken, the crushed arrowroot that we have here. All these are just natural ingredients that you can find occurring in a local way. So we're just going to give them an international twist from what we are used as a local perspective point of view.
Yeah.
Nilianza kuendesha boda miaka michache iliyopita. Wakati huo nilifikiria siwezi kushindwa. Lakini siku moja nilikuwa hospitalini kwa miezi 3. Kosa moja karibu liondoe kila kitu. Boda ni life, lakini life si kitu bila usalama. Zingatia kanuni za trafiki. Hakikisha unavaa helmet na reflector jacket wakati wote.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
Watch the Mozart-Bet Cup as teams from both the top tier and lower tier battle for the ultimate prize of representing the country in Africa's CAF Confederations Cup. Catch all the action live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, beginning with a round of 16 matches, the quarter-final, semi-final, and the final. Mozart-Bet Cup, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Nilianza kuendesha boda miaka michache iliyopita. Wakati huo nilifikiria siwezi kushindwa. Lakini siku moja nilikuwa hospitalini kwa miezi 3. Kwa saa moja karibu liondoe kila kitu. Mwaka moja baada ya kutoka hospitalini, nilihudhuria mafunzo ya jinsi ya kuendesha boda kwa usalama. Siku hizi niko makini zaidi barabarani. Wateja wangu wanaenjoy. Kumbuka, usalama kwanza. Boda ni life, lakini life si kitu bila usalama. Zingatia kanuni za trafiki. Hakikisha unavaa helmet na reflector jacket wakati wote.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
Good evening to you. Welcome to KBC Channel 1. I am Shiksha Arora and this is Easy Friday tomorrow as the country celebrates its 61st Madaraka Day in Bungoma County. All systems go for that particular parade to happen. And of course, we'll be talking about that and what's been happening in terms of the preparations that are currently underway for tomorrow. I'll also be telling you more about what President William Ruto has been saying to Western Kenya residents regarding the problems that experiencing. So we'll be giving you details of that. Of course, the finance bill debate continues. That, business and sports later on. My name is Shiksha Arora. Let us know where you're watching from. The hashtag is Easy Friday at Shiksha Arora at KBC Channel 1. For now though, it's time for the highlights.
Wakenya walipiga kura 2022 kuunganisha taifa letu la Kenya na tukomeshe mambo ya siasa ya ukabila.
We are fixing tribalism and the country's economy. President Ruto's message as he arrives in Bungoma ahead of Madaraka Day celebrations. Magarini without MP. Supreme Court upholds nullification of Magarini MP Harrison Kombe's election. And death in the most unlikely of places. A 1.5-year toddler dies in a police cell after the mother was arrested and put in police custody. You're watching Easy Friday. My name is Shiksha Arora and the sign language interpreter tonight is Susan Thuku. And the top story. President William Ruto has assured the residents of Western Kenya that his administration is committed to solving the problems facing the Nzoia sugar factory. Now, speaking at Chwele Stadium in Bungoma County on Friday, President Ruto said his government has made a decision to ensure the revival of the sugar industry in the Western region.
Sasa Wakenya wote wanakuja hapa Bungoma. Watu wa Pwani, watu wa Eastern, Northeastern kule, Rift Valley yote tuko naye. Si ni shida ya hawa vijana hawana kazi? Ama ni shida gani tuko naye kubwa? Si ni hawa vijana? Tulimalizana na siasa ya ukabila. Wakenya walipiga kura 2022 kuunganisha taifa letu la Kenya na tukomeshe mambo ya siasa ya ukabila.
Now moving on, the Alcohol Beverages Association of Kenya has strongly disagreed with the International Institute for Legislation and Students' campaign against drugs' proposal to increase taxes on alcohol. The Alcohol Association told the Finance and Planning Committee of the National Assembly that the move would encourage cross-border illicit trade and also cause the collapse of local manufacturing.
To increase or not to increase taxes on alcohol and tobacco products dominated Friday's public participation being conducted by the Finance and Planning Committee of the National Assembly. Alcohol Beverages Association of Kenya warned that drastic tax increment on alcohol will push consumers to use illicit brews, saying currently 59% consume illicit liquor.
59% of this market is illicit. We actually need as a country to invest resources in recruiting from illicit, while we acknowledge that the government has given enforcement support towards it. But the principle underlining why illicit is growing in alcohol space is the reality that legitimate alcohol is not affordable.
They have proposed the taxes to be proportionate to the alcohol percentage.
If there is really need to increase excise rates, let's consider staggering it, and at the highest rate, if there is really need to increase, we propose a 10.68 per centiliter.
However, university and college students, under the umbrella of Students' Campaign Against Alcohol and the International Institute for Legislation Affairs, propose stiffer taxes on alcohol and tobacco products with the intent to reduce their consumption in a bid to promote healthy living.
Level of alcohol use on any month is 11.8%. And that is very, very critical. And that is trajectory that is likely to go higher if the prices are reduced.
Only measure for in tobacco control. There are other measures like a ban in public smoking and all the others, but tax is the most effective because then we know that especially young people and poor households are responsive to price increases.
The chair of the committee said the parliament will consider the input of stakeholders before tabling the report to parliament.
Like, for example, the reasoning by National Treasury and the Ministry of Industrialization on taxing alcoholic beverages by centiliter of alcohol is so that to discourage consumption of alcoholic drinks that are of high alcohol content.
Members of the public have 10 days to submit their views.
Meanwhile, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has rallied political leaders across the country to support President William Ruto's vision, saying the head of state is committed to transforming the economy and improving the lives of Kenyans. Gachagua also said that he is committed to uniting all Kenyans to ensure an equitable society and to foster social integration for all.
Speaking at Mutonyora Comprehensive School in Kinangop constituency, Nyandarua County, during a Thanksgiving ceremony, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua said attempts to cause division in the ruling party must be defeated.
Kama watu ya region hii tuungane wote, nikimuongoza nyuma ya rais wetu, tumusaidie, tuwe waaminifu kwake, tumuheshimu, ndio aweze kufaulu, ndio atutimizie yale yote ambayo alituahidi. Lakini hiyo tutafanya kama tumeungana.
The second in command rallied all political leaders behind President William Ruto's economic plan, saying its model will transform the country. Rigathi reiterating the message of unity in his stopovers in Kimende and Kwambira in Limuru Townships, Kiambu County.
Sisi jamii ya Mlima Kenya tulikuwa tunaisha. Na mimi nikaongea na rais wetu William Ruto, nikamwambia jamii yetu itaisha. Na tukaamua kama serikali tupigane na pombe. Ndio hawa watoto wetu, hawa vijana. Na mimi nimefurahi nimekuja hapa. Zamani nilikuwa nikija hapa kila mtu ni mlevi.
MPs accompanying the deputy president slammed a section of UDA politicians who are attempting to undermine the deputy president.
Hatuwezi kubali kuona na kuangalia mtu yoyote akimnyima mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua heshima, kwa sababu hata wengine hakuna mtu amewanyima heshima. Na ndio maana tunamuuliza, kama vile mheshimiwa Kwenye amesema, hata gavana wa Nairobi Gavana wa Nairobi hana any impetus ya kujibizana na Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua.
The Deputy President is not your equals. The Deputy President is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Kurudishia ama kuweza kumtukana na kumkosea heshima naibu wa rais kiasi ambacho tuliona juzi, it is unacceptable, and we are calling upon the President to reprimand the Governor of Nairobi, because we cannot allow that level of disrespect.
The leaders also condemned their colleagues who they say are engaging in early campaigns. Gesho Kewashira, Easy Friday.
Now it is all systems go for the 61st Madaraka Day celebrations to be held this Saturday at the Kandui Stadium in Bungoma County. Organizers of the event, led by the Western Regional Commissioner Samson Irungu Macharia, have affirmed that elaborate measures have been put in place to facilitate a seamless event, with 15,000 people expected to attend the event. President William Ruto will preside over the celebrations.
Midday at the Kandui Stadium in Bungoma County. It's a beehive of activities as various groups, including security officers, put final touches for the eagerly anticipated 61st Madaraka Day celebrations. The regional security team says preparations are in place as Bungoma hosts the memorable fete.
We have a joint security plan as security agencies. So what will be implemented by military police and ourselves and the presidential escort is the same security plan.
Addressing a media breakfast meeting in Bungoma Town, Telecommunications and Broadcasting Principal Secretary Professor Edwin Kisiangani has also reassured attendees of maximum security and protection. Professor Kisiangani has in the meantime scoffed at political leaders in the county who he says have engaged in baseless supremacy battle over who should take credit for hosting the event in Bungoma.
I call on all government officers and including Bwana RC, you make sure that our people don't struggle. Make sure you have organized everybody there so that the entry into the stadium is peaceful. We don't want anybody to be injured.
Meanwhile, the government has established a new regional immigration office in Bungoma County. The office will offer various services, including issuance of passports to over 5 million residents of 4 counties of Kakamega, Bungoma, Busia, and Trans Nzoia.
The backlog which we had a few months ago is now gone. We are actually clearing. And we have done many other reforms in immigration to ensure that we clear the passports. We acquired 2 brand new machines which print 500 passports per hour. So our daily production now has moved from 1,500 to 6,000 passports per day. And we are actually working also day and night to ensure that we clear passports.
President William Ruto will officially preside over the Saturday celebrations, with the stadium gates expected to be opened to the public from as early as 5 a.m. For Easy Friday, I'm Joseph Wahungu.
Now, the Supreme Court has sent Magarini Member of Parliament Harrison Kombe back to the ballot after he went to court seeking to challenge the nullification of his August 2022 election victory. A 5-judge bench led by Justice Smokin Wanjala upheld a Court of Appeal and High Court ruling that found that grave errors, illegalities and irregularities were committed during the said polls. Our court reporter Ruth Wamboy gives details of this and other stories from the court.
It is back to the drawing board and votes hunting for the Magarini constituency seat after the verdict delivered on Friday, where the Apex Court ruled that Harrison Kombe's petition lacks merit. The Apex Court further directed IEBC to declare the seat of the member of the National Assembly for Magarini constituency vacant and proceed to conduct a by-election. Kombe had been declared the election winner after garnering 11,946 votes ahead of his closest contender, who had secured 11,925. Elsewhere, Milimani Court has ordered 3 Nigerians and 2 Kenyans to be held for 10 days to enable police to complete investigations over the offense of drug trafficking. Trial Magistrate Gilbert Shikwe allowed the application by the prosecution, seeking to have the 5 suspects who are being investigated over drug trafficking.
The fact that this is a multi-agency investigation owing to the above, I think that the number of days that are being sought are fairly merited.
The suspects were arrested on 28th May 2024 from their residence in Kileleshu, and upon searching their house, police discovered narcotics.
Case and the issues at hand.
Meanwhile, a business lady charged with obtaining 25 million shillings from a foreigner has been released on a bond of 5 million shillings.
A person who is arrested or charged with any offense shall be granted bail unless the court is satisfied that the person A has previously been granted bail and has failed to surrender to custody. A has previously been granted bail and has failed to surrender to custody, and that if released on bail, whether or not subject to condition, it is likely that he or she will fail to surrender to custody.
Faith Mwikalindiwa has been under custody since Monday after the prosecution contested her release on bail. According to the prosecution, the accused obtained money from Judo Labayo Veracruz by pretending he had secured a contract to supply long-lasting insecticidal nets to KEMSA. Even as the court has allowed 10 days for the DCI officers to continue holding suspects in a drug trafficking in Kileleshwa, the same court has allowed for the release of a suspect who had conned a Nigerian 25 million shillings. Ruth Wamboi reporting for Easy Friday from the Milimani Law Courts.
Now, the United Democratic Alliance Party grassroots elections continued for the 3rd round in select counties in an exercise interrupted by pockets of chaos in the capital, Nairobi. Here now is Wycliffe Okech with more details of the ruling party intrigues, where political players allied to the UDA party urged for progressive politics.
The UDA party conducted the 3rd round of its staggered grassroots elections in the 5 counties of Nairobi, Narok, Homa Bay, Busia and West Pokot. The capital Nairobi witnessing pockets of chaos, pitting rival supporters of the candidates seeking the UDA Nairobi chairmanship.
We want to urge the party, please, when a team is requesting for fairness, please hear us. When we're asking for security, because there are so many people who have been hurt unnecessarily, please hear us. When we're asking for a centralized place, please hear us. So that the election does not only look like it's fair, but it seems to be fair.
The exercise was, however, generally peaceful in the other 4 counties, with the ruling party's affiliated politicians calling for politics of sobriety.
What the General Secretary was talking about was retrogressive politics, which is even not allowed by our own constitution. Their cadre leaders were not allowed to participate in retrogressive politics.
In Homa Bay, former Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero led the party faithful in the county to the call for leaders elected in the UDA ticket to focus on service delivery.
You're preparing yourself that you want to be president in 2032 and you start abusing and calling our deputy president names. We will not allow you. First of all, do your job, the job that you've been given at the moment.
As a stakeholder in Homa Bay County, we accept and we encourage positive criticism within the party, because that shows that our party has a high level of democracy.
Sentiments from Homa Bay were echoed by the ruling party-affiliated legislators from Meru and Baringo counties.
Nimewaomba wandugu zangu waheshimiwa na kila mtu baada tulichaguliwa. Hii ni wakati wa Kenya wanataka kazi. Wakenya wanataka stima, wanataka barabara, wanataka school fees, wanataka tuwafanyie kazi. Sio wakati ya kulumbana kwa chama yetu ya UDA. We want peace and stability for government so that it will be able to deliver for its mandate that they were given by the people of Kenya.
Ni muhimu kama chama inataka kujifanya ikae kama chama kubwa ya Kenya, rais aweze kuzungumza na ambie kila mtu akome hiyo siasa mbaya.
The UDA grassroots elections continue in a week at the county level in the aforementioned 5 counties. For Easy Friday, I am Wycliffe Ogage.
All right, and that leads us to our first commercial break, but we will be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. This is Easy Friday.
Nilianza kuendesha boda miaka michache iliyopita. Wakati huo nilifikiria siwezi kushindwa, lakini siku moja nilikuwa hospitalini kwa miezi 3. Kwa saa moja karibu liondoe kila kitu. Mwaka moja baada ya kutoka hospitalini, nilihudhuria mafunzo ya jinsi ya kuendesha boda kwa usalama. Siku hizi niko makini zaidi barabarani. Wateja wangu wanaenjoy. Kumbuka, usalama kwanza. Boda ni life, lakini life si kitu bila usalama. Zingatia kanuni za trafiki. Hakikisha unavaa helmet na reflector jacket wakati wote.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
Una malimbikizi ya ushuru? Mamlaka ya utozaji ushuru nchini KRA inakupa msamaha wa adhabu na riba ya ushuru kufikia tarehe 31 Disemba 2022 kupitia Tax Amnesty Program. Ili kujua jinsi ya kupata msamaha, jiunge nasi kwenye maonyesho ya barabarani kote nchini ukiletewa na KRA kwa ushirikiano na KBC. Pia tutakuelekeza jinsi ya kujaza fomu za ushuru na kujisajili kwa eTims, mfumo mpya unaokusaidia kutoa risiti za kidijitali kwa njia rahisi. Ijumaa tarehe 7 Juni tutakuwa katika kaunti ya Mombasa, maeneo ya Sauti House, Moi Avenue, Cannon Tower, CMC, Ganjoni, Likoni na viunga vyao. Jumamosi tarehe 8 Juni tutazuru kaunti ya Kilifi, maeneo ya Mtwapa, Kilifi Market, Gede, Matsangoni, Malindi Town, Malindi Stadium na viunga vyao. KRA, tulipe ushuru, tujitegemee.
Back to the future. The future is simulate. Bet smarter. Win faster now. Be a winner. More at Bet.
On Saturday, the 1st of June 2024, we come together to celebrate a remarkable milestone in our nation's history, the 61st Madaraka Day. On this auspicious occasion, we honor the brave men and women whose sacrifices paved the way for our freedom. This year's theme is agriculture and food security. This year's event will be held at Masinde Muliro Stadium in Bungoma County. Catch the celebrations live on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back. Now, a family from Kiambu town in Makueni County is seeking justice after their 1.5-year-old kin allegedly died inside a police station where the mother was being held. According to the child's mother, Zipporah Muteti, her child was ailing at the time of her arrest, but the police allegedly denied her the opportunity to seek timely treatment. Zipporah, who claims she was also assaulted by the police who arrested her at her place of work after an altercation with a customer.
Zipporah Muteti sits pensively as she tries to come to terms with the death of her 1.5-year-old child.
Nilikuwa nimeketi, akanishika mkono, akanislap hivi. Kaniambia beba huyu kitu inaita mtoto, nikabeba mtoto. Kubeba mtoto nikamwambia narudi kwa nyumba kuchukua zile madawa ziko pale zenye nilipewa the last night.
Muteti says she had been arrested and was being held at the Kambu police station in Makueni County after an altercation with a customer at her shop. She was carrying her sick baby at the time of her arrest.
Mimi nikamwambia ni sawa, sikatai kwenda station. Unanipea ruhusa nipeleke mtoto Makindo. Akarusha tena makofi hivi, mimi nikainama nikaendea mtoto.
With her baby's situation quickly deteriorating, Muteti was allowed to take her child to hospital, but it was too late. Dr. Abdulaziz Ali, the medical superintendent at the Kambu Sub-County Hospital, however, says an autopsy is being done to ascertain the cause of the baby's death.
Sababu ya kifo haiko wazi kabisa, So tunangojea ifanywe hiyo autopsy ambayo itakuwa very comprehensive. Hiyo ndio itatuambia sababu ya kifo ya mtoto.
Kambu Regional Deputy Commissioner Ahmed Hussein, however, said investigations are ongoing to establish where the child died.
Hii bado iko kwa DCI wanaihandle, so wacha tuwapatie muda waweze kujua huyo mtoto alikufia kwa cell ama alikufia hospitali ama alikufia wapi kwa nyumba huyo mama, bado hatujajua.
The family of the deceased is now seeking thorough investigations to ensure justice is served. For Prime Edition, I'm Alvin Counder.
Very unfortunate news there. Now, a family in Nairobi is crying for justice amid a land tussle with a company that they say is out to disinherit them. 78-year-old Judith Wanjiru Njenga says the company is claiming to have bought the land in 2004 through a public auction. Wanjiru also claims that they've been raided 4 times in the same property by unknown persons. Land's CS Alice Wahome, however, says Wanjiru is the rightful owner of the land and the ministry will ensure justice is served to her.
This is the land in question. Located at the heart of Nairobi City, the land was originally registered under the name of Andrew Njenga, Judy Wanjiru Njenga's husband. Wanjiru says her husband had a case in the Court of Appeal with people he had allegedly guaranteed a loan from the bank, handing over the original title deed as the security for the loan. The title deed was never returned after the loan was defaulted, and the case was taken to court as Andrew Njenga was faced with false claims that were meant to justify the withholding of his title deed.
The people whom he had guaranteed started claiming that he had borrowed money from a cooperative merchant bank, and he did not see that money which they claimed he had borrowed. So he took them to court.
Unfortunately, the husband passed on in 2005 and Wanjiru continued the efforts to get back the land. She says they have been raided by unknown people 4 times so far, as the company claims to have bought the property through a public auction in 2004, claims that Wanjiru vehemently disputes.
As far as I know, there has never been an auction on this property. Never. I have lived on this property since 1974. I've never gone out of this property. We have never sold.
The Land's Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome, who visited the family, says all records in the ministry show that Judy Wanjiru is the rightful owner of the property, whose registration number is 209/522/2, and has vowed to ensure justice is served.
Mimi ningetaka niambie wale wanacheza na hii shamba watafute pesa pahali ingine tafadhali.
She also issued a stern warning against land grabbers, saying she will deal with them effectively.
Kuna wale wachache wameanza kazi ya ukora wa mashamba. Wamefamia huko Isili, Park Road na Pangani, na tena hii area ya Upper Hill.
Tilio Marco for Easy Friday.
In other news, both the national and county governments have been urged to cushion Kenyans living in arid and semi-arid areas against the effects of drought after the heavy rains experienced in different parts of the country have now subsided. While launching a borehole in Yambila Primary School in Kitui County, Mozart Bet, in partnership with the county government of Kitui, Betting Control and Licensing Board and other partners have said that other companies in the private and public ought to do their part in mitigating effects of climate change that has affected Kenyans.
Said we need to plant a lot of trees. The First Lady now is doing, I think, a program of about 500 million trees by 2027 or 2030. So let us also work with the leaders and the president's eye of planting trees.
We're looking forward to continuing together, and together with the regulator, together with the government, together with all interested parties who are willing to help communities. And as you said, climate change, whatever project is there, we hope that we will come as association.
Awali watoto walikuwa wanabeba maji kutoka nyumbani na imekuwa mzigo sana kwa watoto na vile vile wazazi kuleta maji hapa shuleni. Kwa hivyo hilo naona kwamba
itakuwa tena kama ndoto, manake tumepata maji hapa na ile hali ya kiangazi katika upande huo hapa kama shule naona kama kwamba hatutalihisi.
Ningeuliza, when we are doing budget, tafadhali budget ya maji iongezewe ndio tuhakikishe maji ambayo inahitajika katika eneo hili imekuwa factored in the budget.
Now, the Embassy of China in Kenya has extended support that includes scholarships to children of Nairobi's Mathare area. The initiative is part of a broader effort to improve educational opportunities and living conditions in one of Nairobi's most populous slums. This and more stories in our County News Roundup.
Speaking during a donation of learning materials and other school supplies for children from Msido School held at the Embassy of China, Deputy Head of Mission in the Chinese Embassy to Kenya, Zhang Jingzhong, said the embassy is committed to supporting the development of education and improving the livelihoods of the people in Kenya.
For everybody. So we believe the community with a shared future will provide a future full of hope and expectations to everyone in this world.
When we work on these young ones, we are impacting on the lives of the whole country.
The Chinese embassy also donated 5 million shillings to help schools affected by floods in Madaraka.
Be used for the renovation of the campus and also providing desks, chairs, and other facilities to the students.
Elsewhere, the Mau Mau War Veterans Association has supported the candidature of opposition leader Raila Odinga for the position of chairman of the African Union Commission.
Shall unite states of Africa and their people for meaningful prosperity.
And a family in Ruthiruini village, Kiambu County, is yet to come to terms with the death of their 24-year-old son, who allegedly died after excessive bleeding. They claim the 24-year-old was beaten by police while he was being held at the Kiambu police station before succumbing at the Kiambu Level 5 hospital.
Akampeleka Kiambu police station, wakaenda wakamweka huko, na saa hiyo walikuwa shampiga yeye, na ile kitu iko si kujua sasa alishikwa juu ya nini.
Finally, the Finlay's Community Trust has awarded scholarships to 40 students drawn from Kericho and Bomet counties to study at Belgut and Konoin Technical and Vocational Training Institutes. The program aims to provide financial assistance to deserving students, enabling them to access quality technical education and develop both technical and soft skills essential for success in the job market.
Positive change within the very fabric of their communities. We have witnessed the remarkable impact of the lives that have been transformed through this education, which we believe is the cornerstone of growth and progress.
For Prime Edition, I'm Christine Matunda.
Asanteni sana kwa kuwezesha Loto Moto kuwafikia wengi wasiojiweza kupitia star 570 hash. Hapo umewafuta wengi machozi, umewaelimisha, umewapa makao, umewapa lishe na umewapa matibabu kwa namna tofauti. Asanteni.
Asanteni. Asanteni sana.
Na kwako wewe mchezaji wa Loto Moto, unajipa fursa ya kujishindia Probox nayo. Na kama Probox haikufai na umejishindia, tunakupa taslim 750,000 Kenyan shillings na mshindi namtangaza 30th of June. Na mwezi wa July 28th namtangaza mshindi wa Demio nayo. Na kama utaki na umeshinda, wacha gari, chukua chapa 750,000 Kenyan shillings kwenye star 570 hash. Wewe si mshindi tu, wewe ni tegemeo kubwa. Tusaidie na tushinde!
All right, now let's delve into matters business, where matatu operators will hike fares if the motor vehicle circulation tax is implemented as proposed in the Finance Bill 2024. Matatu Owners Association Chairman Albert Karakacha is calling on Parliament to scrap the tax when enacting the Finance Bill 2024 to reduce the cost of doing business in the country. Speaking in Mombasa during a road safety clinic organized in partnership with GB Auto, Karakacha said the motor vehicle circulation tax to be charged between 5,000 shillings and 100,000 shillings per vehicle is an additional cost on other levies such as fuel, insurance and licenses.
We are paying taxes through fuel levy. Still, even in insurance, we are still paying taxes. So we are just telling the government that that 2.5% as the association, we believe it cannot support we cannot be able to support it, because the same vehicles are the ones which are carrying the hustler. So we are urging the government not to put that 2.5% as a bill. We will not support it at all.
Now, investment opportunities in blue economy, agribusiness, healthcare, education, infrastructure and industrialization, as well as affordable housing and creative arts, will be pitched to investors during the upcoming Nyanza International Investment Conference. Here is Regina Manyara with all the details.
The two-day Nyanza International Investment Conference is being organized by the Nyanza Professional Forum in collaboration with 6 county governments, namely Homa Bay, Kisumu, Kisii, Migori, Nyamira and Siaya, as well as the national government, state agencies, development partners, local and international private sector entities, as well as the local community.
The conference will officially be opened by His Excellency the President on the 28th. It will be held at the Siala Resort in Kisumu. The President himself will also be the keynote speaker at the conference.
The conference, later to be held in Kisumu next month, targets investments in key economic sectors in Nyanza. Speaking at a Nairobi hotel during a preparatory meeting with 20 ambassadors from the European Union, Owalo said the conference is a platform for sharing knowledge and experiences as well as opportunities for development of the region.
The EU has just concluded an economic partnership agreement with Kenya. And it is now, this will enter into force on 1st of July. Now it's our joint task to make sure that Kenya takes advantage of this new agreement to the benefit of all Kenyans, including all the Kenyans in the different counties.
7 thematic areas have been identified as part of efforts to unpack existing and potential development challenges and turn them to bankable investment opportunities for the private sector. Regina Manyara reporting for Easy Friday.
Now, African countries have agreed to set up a credit rating agency in a move that is likely to upend the rating market, highly dominated by Standard & Poor, as well as Fitch Rating Agency. African Development Bank President Akinwumi Adesina says the new credit system will take into account each country's mineral wealth to increase the borrower's profile. This was one of the resolutions of the annual meetings of the group that came to a close today here in Nairobi.
The African Development Bank says the continent needs 52.5 trillion shillings to bridge its funding gap. The continental lender is asking multilateral lenders to consider revising the current credit rating system to ensure African countries access the funds at cheaper rates. AFDB says the continent's central banks have resolved to create a complementary credit rating system to ensure fair financial assessment of African countries.
The building was constructed. I was not there. And so when you constructed it, you didn't have me in mind. And I'm asking that building, to do more today, you take me into consideration.
AFDB president says the new system will encompass more variables, including each country's natural resources, to build their profiles. According to a communique read out by Adesina, African countries have also agreed to increase general capital of AFDB by 15.3 trillion shillings, with Kenya committing 2.6 billion shillings.
Authorize general capital of the African Development Bank will increase from $201 billion US dollars, $201 billion US dollars, to $318 billion. That is $318 billion. You will agree with me?
Speakers attending the annual meeting here in Nairobi have also tipped the bank to consider sourcing for additional private equity for sustainability and retain its...
Even the governors themselves insisted that it's not just adding the callable capital. It is also looking for avenues to make sure that the African Development Bank has a standard AAA rating. It is not going to be dependent on who are the shareholders.
The communique is further calling on African countries to better manage their debts by increasing their local resource mobilization while bargaining for concessional borrowings. Benson Rioba reporting for Easy Friday.
Now, data gaps are hindering the planning and provision of mental health services for Africans. The Africa Health and Populations Research Center is concerned that the data gap is leading to solutions that are created without an understanding of the African context.
Mental health challenges are prevalent in low and middle income countries. This means that in Africa, the prevalence rate is really high. But despite this, 98.8% of people with mental health challenges remain untreated. Part of the problem is lack of data, which would inform the planning and provision of mental health treatment.
While a lot of the data and solutions that are present in this context are from high-income countries, only 2% of the data for children and adolescents around mental health comes from the African region. And we know that 75% of mental health disorders lie in low-middle income countries.
Muyingo says technologies such as apps to support people with mental health challenges in Africa are adapted from high-income countries and are not inclusive in addressing challenges unique to the African landscape.
One of the core values for the prize is the fact that we include people from different regions in terms of language, in terms of socioeconomic status, in terms of their access to care. So we are trying to look at an interdisciplinary approach.
Meanwhile, Kenyans have been urged to increase their awareness on cybersecurity in order to protect their data at an individual level. Radiant Software, that deals in systems for financial institutions, says more sensitization needs to be done for the public to understand various cyber frauds and how to protect themselves.
So it's very important for the customers to be aware about the frauds happening in the industry, and so is for the banks and the associations, especially the fintech associations have the responsibility to run the awareness programs about different type of cyber frauds happening, what they shall do, and especially what they shall not do.
Betty Kiptum, Easy Friday.
Now, Kenya is set to benefit from a program that will see senior government officials from select parastatals trained on proper public financial management. The program, being launched on a pilot basis in 6 countries, will entail training in soft skills, leadership and governance, as well as knowledge exchange techniques and strengthening of oversight and accountability systems in public financial management.
The National Treasury has been deploying mechanisms to help improve predictability and controls in budget execution to ensure that priority government programs and projects are implemented with clear performance monitoring frameworks. Experts say that governments should do more capacity building to scale the rate of fiscal discipline.
More sophisticated skills, leadership and governance that really also enable more nimbleness on how public finance managements are held.
Now that we have a 2063 agenda and we're rethinking what does Africa look like when we want to transform it, we also have to think of how do we redefine leadership and how do we redefine the skills that we need all over the continent.
Speaking on the sidelines of the 59th African Development Bank Group annual meetings in Nairobi, the African Capacity Building Foundation says the program, dubbed Enhancing Leadership and Governance in Public Financial Management in Africa, is part of efforts aimed at supporting African ministries of finance, as well as other government institutions involved in public finance management.
This is also based not only on developing new curricula or new things, but it's also extracting best practices that we see in countries that have worked and how we can exchange those and share them.
The program outcome includes enhancing purpose-driven policy making in public institutions, increased domestic revenue, and improvement of public financial management systems. Other countries in the program alongside Kenya are Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, and Zimbabwe. Ndutamo Kami for Easy Friday.
Una malimbikizi ya ushuru? Mamlaka ya utozaji ushuru nchini KRA inakupa msamaha wa adhabu na riba ya ushuru kufikia tarehe 31 Disemba 2022 kupitia Tax Amnesty Program. Ili kujua jinsi ya kupata msamaha, jiunge nasi kwenye maonyesho ya barabarani kote nchini ukiletewa na KRA kwa ushirikiano na KBC. Pia tutakuelekeza jinsi ya kujaza fomu za ushuru na kujisajili kwa e-Teams, mfumo mpya unaokusaidia kutoa risiti za kidijitali kwa njia rahisi. Ijumaa tarehe 7 Juni tutakuwa katika kaunti ya Mombasa, maeneo ya Sauti House, Moi Avenue, Cannon Tower, CMC, Ganjoni, Likoni na viunga vyao. Jumamosi tarehe 8 Juni tutazuru kaunti ya Kilifi, maeneo ya Mtwapa, Kilifi Market, Gede, Matsangoni, Malindi Town, Malindi Stadium na viunga vyao. KRA, tulipe ushuru, tujitegemee.
Kurumisha ndege. Aviator instant game. Be a daring pilot and earn by how much high you can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart Bet.
Sports News is brought to you by Mozart Bet.
Glad that you are watching Easy Friday. Time to get the latest from the sports world. I'm Bernard Okumu. Let's begin with Harambee Stars, where Germany-based Tobias Noss is the latest inclusion in the Harambee Stars squad that will play 2 FIFA World Cup qualifier matches against Burundi and Cote d'Ivoire next month in Lilongwe, Malawi. Now the team is set to depart for Malawi on Sunday, 2nd of June.
Kenyan-born German-based Tobias Noss, who plays for SV Ver, may earn his first cap for Harambee Stars in the World Cup qualifiers against Burundi on 7th of next month.
Yeah, to play for the Kenyan national team is a big opportunity for myself. Also, it's a big honor, and I think the biggest dream of every small kid to play for the national team is for my motherland, and I'm very happy to be here.
He is the latest inclusion in the team and joins Zambia's based John Ochieng, Duke Abuya and Elvis Rupia, both who play in Tanzania, and Michael Olunga among others.
Timu yote iko focused, kila mtu kuna imani, tumekuwa tukitrain vizuri na tuna matumaini. Sasa hii mechi zimefika. Now the real World Cup qualifiers, na si wote tunajua nini na tungoja hapo mbele. Tunaenda kucheza Malawi. Of course tungetaka sana tucheze nyumbani, lakini ndio hivyo. Tutaenda huko na tutajikaza na hopefully tutatoka na matokeo mazuri.
Kenya will host Burundi and Ivory Coast in Malawi due to lack of CAF-approved stadium in Kenya.
Anyway, Masutu is our, let's say, second most effective player offensively, missed long time. Now also Ayub Masika is out. He has also knee problems. So some players are not clear this situation. Not only because of injuries, there's some club problems and also some mistakes were done inside of us.
Stars are currently third with 3 points from 2 opening qualifier matches, with only the top team in each group earning ticket to the 2026 Global Tournament. Faith Akinyi for Easy Friday.
Elsewhere, Giants GSU defeated KDF by 3 straight sets after dominating their semi-final opening match at Kasarani Indoor Arena. Now, GSU were impressive in the match as they won 25-21, 25-20 and 25-19 in the first of the best-of-3 series. Defending champions Prisons Kenya narrowly defeated KPA by 3 sets to 1 in another hotly contested match. Prisons Kenya won the first 2 sets at 25-23, 25-17 before losing the third set 21-25 and bounced back to win the fourth set 25-21. The 2024 FIA Africa Rally Championship resumes on the weekend of July 26th to 28th in Dola, Zambia, home of former champions Leroy Oshla Gomez. Now Kenya's Karan Patel, who lost to the duo in the 2022 ARC, is hoping to secure another win to extend his lead at the top of the standings. Now the 2023 champion won the Pearl of Africa Uganda Rally held in Jinja earlier in May and sits top of the ARC rankings with 35 points, followed by Uganda's Jas Mangat with 31 points. Kenya's 2023 Junior WRC contender and reigning ARC Junior champion Hamza Anwar has 29 points and is also a formidable contender for the race. And to rugby now, where KCB will miss the services of Kenya Rugby Sevens co-captain Vincent Onyala and Samuel Asati when they take on Kenya Harlequins in the semi-final of the Enterprise Cup at the KCB Sports Club in Madaraka. The two players are currently in Madrid, Spain, playing for the national sevens side in the grand final of the RB Series. KCB will now bank on centre player Bob Muhati and Levi Amunga to propel them to a win as they seek a 6th title that will inject confidence in the squad ahead of the national sevens circuit in July. The second semi-final will pit defending champions Kabras Sugar, who will hope to claim a 3rd consecutive Enterprise Cup against non-scripts at the Kakamega Showground. And of course, Vincent Onyala and Samuel Asati are part of the key players for Kenya who are playing currently in Spain in the relegation playoff of the ongoing RB Sevens, and they did beat Samoa by 19 points to 12. They play Spain at 10:18 East Africa time and wind up their Group B matches against Chile tomorrow morning. Moving on, Sebastian Ogier delivered a near-perfect performance to lead Hyundai Motorsport rival Oitanak after Friday's all-action opening leg at Rally Italia Sardinia. Ogier capitalized on the increased traction offered by his late starting position to win 2 of the 4 sun-kissed gravel speed tests in his Toyota GR Yaris, opening an early 4.5 seconds advantage over I-20N driver Tanak in his 6th round of the FIA World Rally Championship. Now, the Frenchman's only blot on the day was an overly cautious fast drive through Sardinia Casteltardo, where he yielded 5.9 seconds to Tanak while trying to conserve tires. In the end, Pirelli's hard compound rubber stood up to the test of the Mediterranean holiday islands' high heats and rocky roads. The rally was televised on KBC Channel 1, with tomorrow's actions and final on Sunday also going live on KBC Channel 1. Well, that's it from the sports desk. I'm Bernardo Kumu. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Sports News was brought to you by Mozart Bet.
you can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart Bet.
And that brings us to the end of tonight's bulletin. But before I leave, here's a story that I would like you to watch on the segment My Culture, where we delve into the somber and complex burial rites performed during the burial of a member of the Abaluya community whose death is as a result of murder or mysterious circumstances. These rituals are deeply rooted in the community's history and are intended to honor the deceased while protecting the family from further misfortune. Jackie Wamburu takes us through this particular process. My name is Shiksha Arora. The sign language interpreter tonight has been Susan Thuku. Hope you have an incredible rest of the evening. DJ Coljax is going to be up next. And remember, tomorrow is Madaraka Day, so do enjoy your public holiday. And stay right here, because right now, here's that particular story about the Abaluya burial rites of murdered persons.
The journey begins at dusk. The family, led by the uncles, leave their home to retrieve the body of their kin. It is a silent, somber journey with no one allowed to wail or express their grief openly as they re-enter the home. For those who have been murdered, the burial process deviates significantly from the norm. The Abaluya believe that such deaths attract the wrath of both the law and the elders, resulting in a unique and strict set of burial rites designed to prevent further misfortune and to discourage the community from perceiving such deaths as honorable. An elderly man provides herbs for the family and the uncles, ensuring they are protected from any potential curses. Once the body arrives home, a night vigil is held, but only the uncles attend. The family remains indoors under strict orders to avoid participating in the burial, which takes place at 3 a.m. The uncles prepare the body and handle all burial rites, performing them in absolute silence and secrecy. Before the burial, the elders gather the family to administer traditional herbs and speak to the deceased, assuring them that the family is unaware of the killers and pleading with the spirit not to haunt them. The words are spoken in bitter undertones, reflecting the community's anger and sorrow.
Ile madawa ya kienyeji yenye sisi wakiomba tunatumia. Sisi wakiomba tunatafuta mtu wa madawa mzee mwenye amekomaa, mwenye kuna akili ya kutosha, tena kuna ujasiri. Ile kitu tumepata kwa hiyo toma yenye mtadetu ameoleka, huwa tunachukua kakatu, tunaenda kutafuta dawa. Sisi tutumie pia bwana mfano ni mtumie wale wagonjwa wengine tena watumie wapate salama.
Oscar from Nyayo T-Zone on the outskirts of Kakamega was killed in the Kefinko area of Kakamega. His brother Vincent explains the tragic circumstances leading to his death.
Kasema hapana, mpaka twende tuwakishe moja. Kwenda moja ya asubuhi tulienda kweli tukapata ni ndugu yetu, lakini ukiangalia uzo ilikuwa imefura, kichwa yote imefura. Tukaanza kushangaa, mbona ndugu yetu amekufa? Ni ndugu yetu, kifo cha ndugu yetu. Hata sema tumeshangaa sana. Nikuchukulia mtu sheria kwa mkono bila expert, bila makosa yoyote. Naomba serikali hapa Kakamega tumeshindwa sana. Watu wanapata tu watu wanaua bila bila dini yoyote, bila makosa yoyote.
In accordance with the Isuka clan traditions, a chicken is slaughtered after the grave is dug, but before the body arrives. The grave is dug in a secluded part of the compound, and unlike a typical burial, the grave is flattened and concealed to prevent it from becoming a constant reminder of the tragic death. Sometimes grass is planted over the grave to hide it completely. The night vigil and burial process are steeped in rituals. The uncles, respected for carrying the blessings and curses of ancestors, perform these rites. They speak to the deceased, asking him to go in peace and rebuking his spirit to prevent it from seeking justice or haunting the family. During these rites, all young people, newlyweds, children and pregnant women are forbidden from witnessing the burial or hearing the curses. The belief is that their presence could lead to future misfortune, such as the birth of a killer or another victim of murder. After lowering the casket into the grave, the uncles cover it with soil, ensuring it is completely hidden. They then demand a cow and some cash, tapping the roof of the house 3 times to signal the family that the burial is complete. The family remains indoors until morning. After the burial, the uncles will not look back. The uncles then head to a stream to dispose of the tools used in the burial. They find a spot where the water makes bubbling noises, and leaving the tools there and destroy everything used in the ritual, including cooking pots, chairs and tables, maintaining silence as they return home. The following morning, the family resumes their normal activities with no public mourning allowed. The community moves on, leaving behind the hidden grave and the heavy rituals that accompanied the burial. These stringent measures reflect the community's deep respect for tradition and their efforts to maintain harmony and prevent further tragedies. These burial rites of the Abaluya, though complex and somber, highlight the community's deep-seated beliefs and respect for their traditions. They serve as a poignant reminder of how cultures seek to find balance between honoring the dead and protecting the living. Jackie Wambiru, My Culture.
Electric emotions, sprinkle with a little bit of citrus, and it's a potion, yeah. they black and white Oreo. I've been catching love off a bat, boy. Running from your love, that's what this trap for. Bags looking from the corner store, why you wanna do that? I don't need it. I'm like LeBron James in the finals. We 1400, just like a minor. I'm yelling free beach with the signers. 15 man, cause I'm undecided. I'm kicking shit rowdy, I'm serving bricks, somebody, Kelly Charlie, Gucci flip-flops and joggers,
In the whip on a Tuesday night with the music high, and you by my side, Top down and the moon is high, and the mood is right, and you by my side,
Hey, when it come to you, pistol like buzz, issue with trust. Won't let no one get a piece of your love. Yeah, base it on loyalty, base it on us. I ain't the picture, hey. When it come to you, pistol like buzz, issue with trust. Won't let no one get a piece of your love. Yeah, base it on loyalty, base it on us. I ain't the picture perfect type, I'm making it up. You say you want a bad, flip it, I can't get enough. I'm rich and lumber, when I'm with you, I'm bitter as forbidden fruit on apple juice, can I sip on the cup? Mix it with some 1942 and I'm hitting you up. Girl, you chosen. Get up when you bust wide open. It's the ocean, I'm just imposing that you give it to me and just me only. Yeah,